Hello, everyone. Welcome to IELTS Energy TV. I am your IELTS teacher, Jessica Beck, and in this episode, Aubrey and I are going to give you Band 9 native sample answers for Part 3 questions about watching television. So guys, listening to model answers like this is fantastic. You get ideas and vocabulary that you can use on your next IELTS speaking test. And we also talk about the structure you should use in speaking Part 3. So guys, listen up to this podcast and raise your speaking scores. And guys, remember, go to allearsenglish.com/IELTS quiz. Take a short quiz, get your estimated IELTS band score. What would you get if you took IELTS today? You can find out. Go to allearsenglish.com/IELTS quiz. All right, everyone, enjoy the show. Bye.
Hello, Miss Aubrey. It's weird to call you Miss Aubrey. Does anyone call you Miss Aubrey?
No, I know a lot of teachers end up being called Miss Aubrey or Miss their first name, but when I was a teacher in the Bronx in New York, they actually called us Professor. So I was Professor Carter, which was fun. And we called them scholars. It was the principal was like, we need to have these more official names that push us to excel, which I loved because I don't like being called Miss Aubrey.
That I know.
I love it.
I understand it's respectful, so I don't mind if people say Miss Jessica, but it sounds weird, like we don't use that title in our country. But I do want to call you Professor Carter now, because that's delightful. That's a great title. All right, Aubrey, what are we going to teach our IELTS students about today?
Yes, we are going to do some practice part 3 answers about the topic of the influence of television. So this is going to be a good one. We're going to try to use all of the techniques that we teach in 3 Keys IELTS so that you can get a high score. And we'll see. You'll have to tell me my score after, Jessica, see how I do.
Well, I can tell you our 3 Key student Gopika's scores. She got a 7 on speaking. Oh my gosh, guys, her scores are amazing. She got an 8 on reading as well. Listening 7.5, writing 6.5, and as I said, speaking 7. So she used our strategies, the same ones that we are going to use today when we're giving you our sample part 3 answers, all about television. So media, television, stories, this stuff comes up a lot on IELTS speaking for sure, but not just speaking. It comes up on writing as well often. Guys, if you're wondering if you would also get a 7 on speaking like Gopika, you can get your free estimated IELTS band score right now. Again, for free. Go to allearsenglish.com/myscore. Take a short quiz, get your estimated IELTS band score, and free resources. Okay, Aubrey, can you remind me, what are candidates graded on the speaking exam?
That's a very good question. So first of all, your pronunciation, your intonation needs to vary. You can't sound like a student. You need to sound native and natural. Then your fluency and coherence score. So you can't have long pauses. You need to be quite fluent and easy to understand. And you also need to use transition phrases for that score. And then your vocabulary, you need to have a variety of vocabulary, some informal, some formal, and high level, less common words, as well as idiomatic language, idioms. And then grammar, right? You need a variety of grammar phrases and structures, and you can't make too many mistakes.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. You know what? If I had to guess, Aubrey, I would say you were trained by an IELTS examiner.
You would think that, wouldn't you? Whoever she is did a great job. Bang up job.
You guys, that's me. Okay. So let's get into this. So as Aubrey said, for vocab, you need to show a range, right? So since we're doing part 3 answers today, guys, we need to be a little bit more serious in these answers, which is reflected in our pronunciation and our choice of vocabulary and transition phrases. So do take notes while we answer. So, okay, Aubrey, I'm going to ask you first. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
How popular is watching television in your country?
That is an interesting question. I was just speaking with a friend with this the other day because my children are obsessed with watching television. And now that they're doing school online, it's a real problem. So they're on screen all day if they're on screen for school and then want to be watching television. afterward. So I've had to really put some sanctions on when they can watch television, because I think that's common in the United States. A lot of families, kids want to be watching television. I watch television, especially late at night when my brain can't handle anything else and I just want to relax and not think about anything. So I think the situation my family has is pretty common, that we all watch television. We have to figure out how to limit ourselves.
Nice. Guys, notice how Aubrey took that personal pretty quick, right? Which made it real, which made it believable, which made it an authentic answer. Students still ask, like, can I use personal examples? Isn't that informal? No, the example itself is not informal or formal. It's how you speak about it, the vocabulary you use. And notice the expressive pronunciation, right? Like, I think you said a real problem. Like, it was really emphasized.
You
so guys,
felt it.
it feels big. So yes, go big on your pronunciation, right? And also great vocabulary like sanctions. What does sanction mean?
That would be anything that you're putting a limit or a control on. So if I'm putting a sanction on how much my kids can watch TV, I'm limiting it. I'm controlling how much screen they get.
Love it. Okay, cool. All right, Aubrey, I'm ready. Ask me a tough one.
Okay, let's see here. Tell me about the types of programs that are generally on television in your country.
This is really tricky to answer these days because if one is asked what they watch on TV, they don't watch TV in the traditional sense. Like, we're not all watching the same channels like we were, in bygone eras. We're not all watching TGIF on ABC on Fridays or whatever. So we stream a lot of content for sure. And that means it is impossible to say what is generally on television because everybody is watching something different these days, right? There's anything from reality television. You could still watch The Bachelor or Hoarders, for example, or you could watch some like niche programming about how to make an RC car on YouTube. If you're watching that on your TV, I guess it counts as television watching. So I think it's kind of impossible to generalize what's on TV right now.
Ooh, that was a really good answer. You had the option of just listing a few shows that people watch on TV, but I think you realized it would be difficult to, have that great vocabulary. And so you got to go a little deeper, talk about how it's different than it's been in the past. And then you're able to share all these great vocabulary words like bygone eras. That was a really good one. What does that mean, Jessica? Let our listeners know.
It's just like a long time ago. Right? Like in the past, that's it. It just sounds fancy. Not like last year. I would say it has to be at least a couple decades ago to qualify as a bygone era.
Which is when we listened to, or when we watched TGIF, which I love that you mentioned that. For listeners who don't know, Jessica and I both, when we were in high school, it meant thank goodness it's Friday. Mm-hmm. And it was like Friday, there was all the best shows. Everybody's watching TV at the same time on Friday. And then Saturday morning cartoons.
And everybody was watching the same things because we had 3 channels. Like, even if you had cable.
There was no internet.
Right, exactly. Like, even if you had cable, you were still watching like Nickelodeon, or like there was like a handful of kids channels and everybody watched the same thing.
Our students are thinking we're really old now, I bet.
That's okay, because you know what? With age comes a wisdom, and that's why you can trust us to teach you about IELTS. Guys, remember, find out what you would get if you took IELTS right now. Go to allearsenglish.com/myscore. Aubrey, should we do one more? What do you say?
Yes, but I vote for you to do it.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you one more. Okay, ready?
Yep.
What effects can watching television have on children?
Oh gosh, this is more controversial than it seems like. I feel like as a responsible parent, I should automatically say that it's negative. Kids should spend as little time in front of the screen as possible. But I think it's, it varies according to the child, because I know that some children that have some learning challenges, right? Maybe their brains access information or process information in different ways. Like a friend of ours that has ADHD, screen time is very bad for him, right? Because his brain handles it in a different way. However, this may be terrible. Please don't judge me, Miss Examiner. But my child and I love watching television together, and I think it has a positive effect. I think it helps his creativity and his imagination, because we often we try to access stories that are, you know, interesting and have to do with fantasy or sci-fi. We watch documentaries together, so I feel like it's in the choice and in the context of what the child is watching. It can actually be a very positive experience.
I love that because I think a lot of our students feel like they have to either say what the examiner agrees with or wants them to say, or, you know what I mean? They have to be thinking about that, and you don't, right? The examiner doesn't need to agree with you. The examiner doesn't need to know if what you're saying is truthful. All they're listening for is your fluency, your vocabulary, your transition words. That's what they care about. And you're nailing all of that, right? Yeah. However, you used a great transition word, however, in there. These, I feel like you have to be pretty thoughtful, because we don't always use them when we're speaking, those transition words. And especially in part 3, it does change your intonation. It gives you that variety, because it makes it sound just a little more formal, especially when you use more formal vocabulary or transitions like subsequently, additionally, something that's a little, less informal. And then I loved that you shared a great personal example, right? You're talking about your son and what you're watching together. And so you're using all this high level vocabulary for a part 3 answer, but still sharing a personal example because it's relevant to the question. You answered it fully. You got 9s across the board. Well done.
Yeah, guys, remember, don't run away from your real opinions or your real life because it's an exam, right? The examiner does not care about your opinion. I think recently on an episode, Aubrey, you and I talked about, should you talk about religion on the exam, right? It doesn't matter. It's fine. Be you, guys. If you're trying to give the examiner what he or she wants, quote unquote, it's not going to come off well. It's not going to seem fluent, right? The more you could go personal, the more fluent and comfortable you're going to be. Having said that, though, you still need to practice these high-level transition phrases and vocabulary for part 3 in order for it to seem fluent, for it to come out naturally. So again, guys, listen to this episode a couple times. So much great stuff today. And surprise, surprise, this one will also be on YouTube. So guys, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel because you never know what you're going to get on there. We are throwing up so many amazing videos right now. So subscribe to IELTS Energy TV on YouTube and get your estimated IELTS Band score. Guys, it's free and you get resources that I made just for you. Whether or not it's a Band 6, Band 7, Band 8, you can get the resources you need for free. Aubrey, where can students go for all of that?
Yes, go to allearsenglish.com/myscore. And don't forget, there's so much information, you guys know this, online about the IELTS exam. So you could be wasting a lot of time if you're getting incorrect information or just information from language teachers that don't know a lot about IELTS. So if you go and take this quiz, the resources you're getting are vetted by Jessica. She knows that these are all exactly where you need to be for your level. So go to allearsenglish.com/myscore.
Awesome. And guys, I hope you come and watch the YouTube video because I just did a little dance because I'm excited.
You got to see it. And then you can see our houses. You can see the office that I steal from my husband sometimes and Jessica's cute house.
I have some artwork happening behind me.
Love it.
Very fun, guys. Very fun. All right, Aubrey, thank you for recording today. Super fun as always.
Yes. Heck yeah. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
See ya.